What is up, you guys? Welcome back to Resilience Unplugged. We are going to talk about how to come out of a still dormant season of letting life really just happen to you and entering into your empowered, goal achieving, confident season to become your healthiest, most resilient self. I'm going to open up with y'all a little bit. I hope it's okay with you because I had this realization a couple of days ago and it sparked me into action. I turned 28 this past week, and looking back at the last year, I have grown a lot spiritually, but in most other areas, I have taken a back seat, which is beautiful in a way because I needed that one on one time with the Lord to truly know Him and strip myself of things that weren't ordained by Him. And I'm now in a spot where I am ready to grow in other areas again because I feel so certain of my faith and the discernment that I have. So, taking you back a year ago, I kind of burned my business as I knew it to the ground. I had contemplated this for a while because you see, as I was diving more into my faith, I realized just how worldly the business that I built was. And the mentor I had at the time was a very money and data driven person, which I can appreciate and is so important in business. But this took my eye off of why I started it. And it caused me to focus on these things and prioritize money over the impact I was making. So even though I started my business with the best intentions, those intentions became very blurred for me as I focused more on the money and data aspect that my mentor had me focusing on. And after a year of honestly questioning how to amicably say goodbye to the people who were a part of TRW and really restart, God did it for me. And the statement, God will give you the same test in different ways until you finally pass it, is literally my life to a T. Because you see, I unfortunately am a repeat offender of this whole wait a stupid amount of time between knowing something is wrong and knowing a change should be made and acting when I feel I haven't fully given it every ounce of my being. My last relationship was the same way. I waited about a year, almost to the date, you guys, of knowing this was not my person until I finally was able to leave and feel good about it. As I grow closer to God, I just see him being like, really, Renee? Again, you still haven't learned this? Like we're really not past this lesson yet. I've given it to you in other areas of your life and you still haven't learned. Because then at the end of it, I'm emotionally spent and physically drained. I don't know if anybody else resonates with this, but this is what happened in my business last year too. A couple of days ago, I was looking back on just the last year of my life, kind of looking at like, on your birthday, you kind of sit back and say, you know what? What have I accomplished in my last, year of life? Like what have I done? And I was looking back and to be honest, I was a little sad because I was like, not much has changed. I have grown a lot spiritually. So I've grown a lot in my faith, which has been amazing. But I've kind of just been letting life happen to me, waiting for the next shoe to drop. And this might sound dumb, but usually even age years are really good for me. So years like 22, 24, 26, those were great years historically. And I just turned 28, which is another even year. So I'm in my head, you know what? Let's go. I'm going to run with it because at this point, I need all of the momentum I can get right now. And so I was like, I need to make 28 my freaking year. It's going to be my year because 27 really did a number on me. And I wanted to create this podcast today to document this turning point in my life in hopes that it will also spark a turning point for you as well. I'm speaking this into existence now. I am building a business with God at the foundation that is going to be more successful than the worldly business I built. I will choose resilience every day, no matter how defeated I may feel. I will live my most fulfilling life and be the one for my family. I don't know if y'all listen to Ed Milet, but he talks a lot about one, the power of one more, and then two, being the one. And he says there is usually one person that changes the entire trajectory of a family. And I am that one for my family. I firmly believe that. I am the one that's going to bring my family closer to God and to actually knowing God. The one that is going to shift how they view life and wealth. The one that's going to bless them beyond measure. And the one that's going to completely change how my future family lives their life. Now, these things are all big to speak of for myself, right? And they may sound like big claims, but let me be very clear. They will all happen. And I want you to start speaking big goals over yourself too, claiming those and becoming women of your word. Becoming a woman of your word is so impactful because let me tell you, when I say these things, I don't doubt myself. I know it's going to happen because whenever I say things, when I verbalize them, they come true because I hold myself to that. I follow through on my word. And so, to be very honest with you, the goals that I'm going to share some goals at the end of this episode. The goals I'm going to share with you are going to be a little scary to put out loud because I know whenever I say them, they're going to happen. And I've got to show up to be the person that's going to achieve these goals. To be quite frank with you, there have been countless times this past year where I have felt extremely unqualified and I have allowed that to control my actions. And that is very uncharacteristic of me. That's like, is that even the right way to phrase that? I don't know, but that's not a common thing for me, at least for the last 5 years, 5 to 8 years. And I've really focused on personal development and becoming my most resilient self. I don't really hunker down to the thoughts of feeling inadequate or feeling unqualified or feeling insecure and feeling like an imposter. I don't give those things validity at all. But I have this last year. I remembered God qualifies the unqualified. So who am I? Who are we to discount what he can do through us in our life? I want to challenge you today to set some freaking big goals. Goals that seem literally insane. They terrify you to say out loud. And I want you to also create visualization statements that will put you in the shoes of the woman who is achieving these goals. I set 5 massive goals that I want to accomplish by the second half of 2024. I'm like I think year is too long to think out most times, at least for me. Like I need to have some kind of scarcity, some kind of like push. Like I have 6 months, it's not that much time. Let's go ahead and get after it. If I have 12 months, I kind of will sometimes, going to be very honest, take a back seat. And it's really important that you know yourself and know how you approach things and what's going to help you to show up and what's going to stop you from showing up. And I know if I set year goals, not the best. 6-month goals, let's get after it. I'm going to share those with you in a second because though they're terrifying, like I mentioned before, when I speak things out loud, they carry weight with me. There's a lot more riding on how I show up and that I actually achieve them. So while I'm terrified to say these to y'all on a podcast, putting it out with, I don't know who listens to this, I'm going to say them out loud because I am going to walk the walk. I believe firmly I'm a leader and I'm a leader in this space. And I want to lead women to be resilient in all areas of their life by putting their self and their health first. And that starts with me doing it first. So with that being said, I challenge you to message me on Instagram after this. And I want you to share what goals you are setting. Because when you share them with somebody and you don't keep them to yourself, you are 10 times more likely to achieve them. So I expect to be getting a message from each one of you after you finish this podcast. Let's get into my scary goals that I have. The first goal I have is to become the fitness coach for Christian entrepreneurs. I have some numbers listed out of like numbers I want to hit in order to do this on TikTok, Instagram, broadcast channel. I just created a broadcast channel. Actually, today, if you want to go ahead and join that, please on Instagram. That was scary to make as well, but we're doing the dang thing. I'm walking the walk again. And so many clients I want with NTRW. Those numbers don't really matter though. The thing is like becoming, again, the fitness coach for Christian entrepreneurs that are obviously women. The next goal I have for myself is to have this podcast, Resilience Unplugged, be in the top 100 of the health and fitness space. Now, that's a big feat to happen in 6 months. And it could not happen in 6 months. But I'm going to go down fighting that it happens, okay? The third goal I have for myself is to start building a community in the Frisco and Dallas area of entrepreneurial women who are also rooted in their faith. And that's going to come down to me making one real connection a day. The fourth goal I have for myself is I will get down to the root of my health issues and become my healthiest self, not only internally, but also externally. And lastly, I will start and complete my hormonal gut certification to better serve high achieving women and get to the root cause of their health issues. Now, a lot of these goals, being very frank with you, are pretty impossible to hit in 6 months. Okay? But that does not mean I'm not going to go down without a fight. And these goals will happen. It may be in a year, maybe in 9 months, could be in 5 months. Who knows? But these are my goals I'm working towards every day, day in and day out, over the next 6 months. And I also wanted to give you some examples of what visualization statements look like. I think a lot of times manifestations carry no true validity, like you're just saying things and you don't really even believe them yourself. Visualization, if you literally sit there and place yourself in these shoes and visualize yourself getting there every day and make these part of your prayers, that carries weight, in my opinion. So, a couple examples of visualization statements that will help me to achieve the 5 goals I stated before is God created me for a time as this. His timing is perfect. I'm in the perfect place at the perfect time with the perfect people. I work hard because I have the power to impact and influence. The Resilient brand is flourishing and allowing me to become the one for my family and future family. That one right there, man, that lights me up. Another one is I deserve to be in a body I am obsessed with and help others build a body they're obsessed with as well. Last one I have as an example on here is my content inspires other motivated faith-based women. So these are examples of big goals to set and visualization statements to speak over yourself. I hope this episode was helpful for you. I hope it was impactful. If it was, please share with a friend. Please rate and review, like I mentioned in my goals. My goals have this podcast be ranked in the top 100 of the health and fitness space in podcast. And that happens through reviews and through ratings. Right now, we're not ranked. I have no reviews. I have no ratings. So if you could do me a really, really solid one and leave a review and share with a friend, because again, that goal, it's going to get accomplished, whether it's in 5 months, whether it's in 6 months, whether it's in 15 months, it's going to happen. And I would love to have you a part of that goal being accomplished. I'm looking forward to your messages of what your big goals are and what your visualization statements are as well. And I will catch you in the next podcast. Go be resilient, you guys.